Hello, my name is Quella, and today I'm going to present about my research project. So my initial research question is that how do different populations use smartphones differently? And I think I were able to eventually answer it partially, though perhaps I did not comprehensively answer the research question in its every small subfield. I were able to answer it generally and provide with several specific examples along with some explanation. To answer my research question, I reviewed many academic publications online and I divided my answer into three general themes. The first one is that understanding the different relationships between people of different genders and smartphones. And second, how do people from different races tend to use smartphone differently? And third, how do different age groups make use of mobile technology in different ways? For the first theme, which is how men and women use smartphone differently, through reviewing literature, there are a few major findings. Male college students more commonly use technology to obtain information and entertainment, and they use social networks mainly to meet new friends and establish new relationships, while women use technology more to communicate and cultivate interpersonal relationships. And it is found that women are more susceptible to consumer reviews than men. And compared to men, women may encounter more technical challenges and risks when using mobile technology. Plus, more female teachers go further in teaching via technology and use mobile devices and apps from other subjects than male teachers. What's more, men feel less social pressure than women, and they use smartphones for less social purposes, as women are more likely to indulge in habitual or addictive smartphone behaviors. And for the second theme, how people from different races tend to use smartphones differently. It's found that mobile technology may help reduce ethnic health disparities through access to information, and the digital technology is so necessary for Black people in the process of job research. Black and Hispanics were more likely than whites to use cell phones in terms of health status, work, or educational content. Also, Black students send and receive text messages more frequently than those white students. For the third thing, how do different age differences have an impact on the use of mobile technology? Major findings include people over age 70 are more likely to use older technology, such as desktop computers and feature phones, while young people are more likely to own wearables. Moreover, the most important smartphone activities for adults over 50 is staying connected and busy. Additionally, elders are unlikely to develop habitual or addictive smartphone behaviors compared to younger generations. Plus, youngsters use their mobile phones longer, using their smartphones for entertainment and social interaction through special applications. And in one of the lectures in class, I remember the statistics on the PPT indicates that younger people generally have more smartphones than the elders. However, I have to admit that my research paper have many imperfections, since I do not have much experience in researching and reviewing academic literature. Also, since I'm not an English native speaker, I might misinterpreted some of the academic literature. Hello, this is still Quella, and I divided my formal presentation into two parts because I'm afraid that I cannot upload the whole video because it may be too long. So I will start. The first part I will discuss is about research process. Oh, this has been my very first experience about secondary research, so I may encounter many barriers actually. And for the part of annotated bibliography, I just copy and pasted some sentences from the literature I reviewed and did not add any quotation marks. So this is deemed as plagiarism. And thanks to the feedback of the professor, so I will not commit the same mistakes afterwards. And for my research question, I just encountered many difficulties in this part. So I changed my research question 2 times. The first research question of mine is demographic differences in using mobile technology, and the second research question of mine is how various demographic people use smartphones differently. And the third one is how do different populations use smartphones differently. I changed it so many times because I did not read the criteria carefully at first, so I changed it many times according to the feedback of the professor. And also, um, I think the school library is a very useful database. At first, I did not have any idea about how to use school library because in my high school, I did not have a school library. So, according to the criteria and followed the steps on the PowerPoint, I finally learned how to use the database of Waterloo School Library. And I find that there are actually many resources which are very academic and trustworthy. So I learned that watching lecture videos carefully and read the criteria thoroughly is very important to complete my homework. Actually, after my research part 1, and I actually got a very low mark. So I after that I rewatch all the lecture videos all again, and I find that there are many places that I did not pay attention to. So according to the feedbacks, I changed my work again and again. I think in this process I learned much. I learned a lot. So there are many improvements that I made. The first one is critical thinking. When I selecting my references and reviewing the literature, I think it's fairly difficult for me to select for the useful one, the academic ones. And in this process, critical thinking is very important. I cannot believe all the literature I see, so I must choose among them. And secondly, the APA citation format is very new and useful for me because in my high school, I normally use MLA citation format, and this is the first time that I encountered APA citation formats. And thirdly, for the annotated bibliography, I think it's very useful because this is also the first time that I encountered annotated bibliography. I think this part can help me about my formal research project essay very much because I can list all the summaries and all the the useful major findings of each literature in the annotated bibliography parts, and I can just look back in my annotated bibliography and think about what I can write in my formal research project part 3 essay. And I gained a deeper understanding about mobile technology during the process of this research project because beforehand I just learned in the classes, learned in the lectures, and this time I can by my own reviewing all the literature online and paraphrase and memorize all the ideas and findings about mobile technology. And at last 2 parts, I think, as my as an individual, I learned two things. The first one is time management, and the second one is carefulness. Time management is that, if like at first I will postpone all my work until the last minute before my deadline, and after a while I think this is not work. This cannot work because in that way I will become very tired when I complete the work. And also carefulness is very important as well. Like I would like to carefully watch all the lecture videos and all the criteria. In that way, my grade in the project will enhance a lot. So thank you. This is all my presentation. Have a good day.